You know when you just mess around on console's menu because you're bored but too lazy to start up a game? Well, that happened to me one day while playing on my Switch, and during that period of time, I went into my friends list and I was looking at what they were playing. Then I stumbled upon my friend playing a game that had this goofy looking bird wearing sunglasses. That is how I discovered the first of many Tori games. What is Tori? Tori is a 3D platforming series that has a high focus on speed and is heavily inspired by late 90s platformers and just 90s games in general. Tori was developed by indie studio Siactro, whose previous works before this were MacPac 64, Tasty Ramen, and a few other games. However, Tori 3D was the first major success, and will be the first game we'll be starting off with on this journey to play every single Tori game, out as of July of 2022. Tori 3D centers around a bird named Tori, who tries to avenge his ice cream that was stolen by this Grim Reaper looking guy, whose name is Glitchy, but the game often refers to him as It. The game has 9 levels, with 2 levels for each corresponding theme. Kinda like how Sonic games are structured by having Act 1 and Act 2 stages. These themes are as follow: Pink City kinda theme with humongous stars in the background, a sea harbor that splits into having a giant octopus in one level, and in the next there's a boat that has planes lying on them. Honestly, I don't know what they're called, I forgot. Then we have an ice level, which is pretty generic and has the most tame design in the game, but still adds some elements which make it unique. And the last theme finds Tori running through traffic in this highway based level. Then the last level is a combination of every single level theme mashed together into one level. I gotta say, every single level has excellent level design, and the level themes in this game are just so unique and really fun to go through and explore. What I found somewhat strange during my playthrough is that this game has these moments which try to be scary, like in this one part where Glitchy just appears out of nowhere. These parts are really confusing as to why they were put in until when doing research for this video. I found out that Tori 3D was originally intended to be part of this collection called the Haunted PS1 Demo Disc, which included several other games that have PS1 style gameplay and graphics. But later Tori 3D was made playable on Steam, Switch, and eventually Xbox. This finding was really interesting as it explains why the game includes these elements that it does, and I thought it was worth mentioning. What makes this game so charming is a consistent art style of being low poly, which the developer really pulls off well, making it really feel like the game is from the PS1. However, that doesn't mean it inherits the horrible controls that 3D platformers are known for, like, Bubsy. Tori controls wonderfully and feels super smooth to control and super precise also, which really adds to the speedrunning part of this game that I feel like really makes the game. Like, these levels are incredibly short and the game isn't that long, totaling in only about an hour of playtime if you really take your time. So by adding this speedrunning element, it boosts up the replayability that this game has. Additionally, there are 2 unlockable characters, Macbeth and Tasty, references to Siactro's other games, and by having these 2 characters to unlock and use really adds to the replayability. Macbeth is unlocked by collecting every single star in every level, and Macbeth is a fine character to play as, so I feel like his ability to have infinite jumps really breaks the game, so he's only really fun to mess around and explore the level. I feel like doing that isn't that much fun either, because Macbeth is so incredibly slow. On the other hand, we have Tasty, which requires you to beat every single level with the A ranking, which is a bit of a challenge to do, especially on the Edge Runner level. But once you do that, you're rewarded with Tasty, and his special ability is to run fast, like way faster than Tori could. I really enjoyed playing as Tasty as his character unlocks so much potential in the game. For example, there are certain jumps that cannot be made using Tori, but can be made using Tasty since he has a higher speed, and this just opens up a possibility of finding new shortcuts to reach a better time record, which further adds to the speedrunning element of the game. I think everyone should try this game as it is so much fun to play, and it's a solid way to spend the next hour if you don't know what to do with it. On top of that, the game is being sold for only 99 cents.
That's what we call a masterpiece for your wallet.
Not that long after the release of the first game, a sequel was released also. And I literally mean not that long, as Tori 2 came out only a few months later. At first I thought the name of the sequel was kinda weird, as I felt it should be called Tori 3D 2, but after saying it aloud, I realized how dumb and confusing that really sounds. Anyways, Tori 2 serves as an epic conclusion to the ice cream arc. It has the same level structure of having an Act 1 and Act 2 sort of deal going on, with each level theme. Speaking of level themes, we are presented with 5 new themes that are, in my opinion, even better than last game. Another city-like level that serves as Glitchy's headquarters, and then we have a paradise level that throws its own spin on it that really makes it feel unique to any other paradise/beach levels in any other games. And somehow Tori ends up in the middle of an intergalactic space war and ends up having to jump from spaceship to spaceship at super high speeds. We have a lava theme that takes place inside of a temple. Lastly, for the last level, we are taken to Glitchy's home, which is a lot more bright and cheery than you may expect from, you know, this. And at last level, we actually get to fight Glitchy in Tori's first ever boss fight. This serves as a decent challenge, mostly due to the fact that this stupid orb has aimbots on its lasers. Additionally, there are these new speed boosters that come in 2 forms. One that gives you a major boost in speed and is often lifted off the ground, and the second gives Tori ability to kill enemies and is like this band sort of thing. I don't know what to call it. These are really great additions and really give Tori that extra bit of speed that he needs to get through the level and really add to that aforementioned speedrunning element. The music in the first Tori game was pretty good, but in this sequel, they really outdone themselves, like way more than they needed to. They brought in Red Panda, an EDM musician, to make the music for Tori 2, and I think they did a really great job at making the music for this game. They even made a vocal track for the Sparkle Park level, and it just fits the vibe of Tori and this level so perfectly. Again, we are able to play as Tacy and MacBat, and we unlocked them the same way as we did before. Tacy is the same, I don't really have much to add on to what I said before, but in MacBat's case, they actually have an objective sort of thing for him to do now. Basically, there are these CDs all over the map that only MacBat could reach since he has infinite jumps. If you collect all of these CDs in every level, you unlock the newest secret character, Glitchy. Yep, as the description suggests, he's a ridiculous addition. He's essentially Tacy on steroids, super fast speed and infinite jumps. They're probably super fun to play as once you get the hang of playing as Glitchy, but for me personally, I didn't really like playing as them, as I felt they just break the game like so much. But don't take it as me not enjoying this addition, as I really do enjoy it, it's just not for me. Besides the features that are already listed, there really isn't anything else added. It just builds upon what the first game had done, and it does it really well. However, one feature I find weird that they didn't add is the addition of a leaderboard or some kind of list of records of the times you've beaten each level with. This is especially unusual considering the fact that they specifically aimed this sequel towards improving the fast gameplay element, but it really isn't that big of a deal. I just feel as though it would have been a great addition to complement the speedrunning aspect of the game. That was basically Tori 2 until December of the very same year, where we were given a free content update. This update included 3 new levels that were based around Christmas, since it was only a few more days until Christmas Day when it was released. These new levels feel different to the other levels featured in the base game. In the base game, the levels were pretty linear and had a goal of getting from point A to point B in the fastest time possible. Whereas in these new levels, the levels are really open and have you collecting a certain number of collectibles to finish the level. These new levels are more comparable to Mario 64 levels and not the levels in the base game. This isn't to say that these new Christmas levels are bad. They are competently made levels. It's just that it's somewhat jarring to see the difference in level design in the same game. The first level in this update introduces you to the new style of level design that I mentioned before. You have to collect at least 5 ice creams to finish the level. It includes tons of references to other Siactro works, and it also has one part where you control this Tori mech suit thing. I thought it was pretty fun and creative. Then the second level, which is probably the biggest one out of 3, you have to explore the stage looking for light bulbs to light up giant Christmas tree in the middle. Then you must find these locations to insert the light bulbs into the tree. It takes way longer to finish this level than any other level in this game, since the light bulbs are really hidden along this huge, massive level. Lastly, we return to the same linear level design used in the base game for this last level. The choice was weird considering that the other 2 levels in this update were following the new non-linear level design, but it's whatever I guess. The level is just your average Tori 3D level, and when I played I noticed it was super fast to beat, almost too fast. So then I noticed there was another path. I began trying to go through this path, but it was so difficult since these boostings here launch you way too far. So in the middle of being launched, you must redirect your momentum by jumping into this next boosting before you get launched off the building. Eventually, after countless deaths, I passed the boost part and was on my way to getting to the end of this new path. And when I finished, to my demise, it had brought me back to the starter level. What? What was the point of this? I thought it would bring me to some kind of alternate ending that rewarded you with something, but no. It's just a big waste of time. Besides the inconvenience, I really enjoyed this new set of levels. The Christmas aesthetic really hits different though when you play during Christmas time. Go figure. Like when I played it for the first time during Christmas, I remember it was a cold winter night. The wind was howling against the windows. The warmth of the furnace brought comfort during this uncomfortable weather. So did the cheery lights from the Christmas tree. I'm getting a little off topic here. Anyways, there's always a possibility that they might add another update that adds new levels. But for now, this concludes Tori 2. Along with the aforementioned Christmas update was the release of a new Tori game, Tori Jumble Jam. The way this game came to be is interesting. Basically, during the development of Tori 2, one of the level designers was so bored, so he was just digging around and came up with new yet more irregular levels. These new levels are essentially remixes that utilize previous level elements and features from the original Tori 3D to provide a more challenging playthrough than what was seen in the original Tori 3D. If I were to compare it to anything, I would say they're like the B and C sides levels in Celeste. They build upon the elements of the base level but present them in a more difficult manner. Unfortunately, since this is only a small add-on, there isn't new music. It just reuses the music found in the original Tori 3D. Actually, it recycles so much from Tori 3D that I wonder why it wasn't just included as an update. Editors know, I guess. So I must have dementia or something, because I actually forgot these levels were actually included in the base game of Tori 3D via an update. However, they only apply to the Switch version of Tori 3D for some reason, and not the PC release. So I guess my point still somewhat stands, but I thought I should mention this. Other than that, there really isn't much else to say about Tori Jumble Jam. It's fun, it's quality, and it's worth giving it a try if you love the levels in Tori, and want a level that could really challenge you. So I didn't even know this game existed prior to the making of this video, mainly because it's super hidden for whatever reason. It isn't shown on Siactro's website or any video game platform's website. In order to get your hands on this Tori game, you must download it from a Google Drive, where the link is only posted on Siactro's Discord server. But not even the announcements, it's in pinned messages in the Tori chat. However, once you jump through the several hoops and hurdles, you can finally experience this Tori game. The main gimmick of this entry is that you can play Tori with others online, hence the name Torinette. There's only one level to play in this game, but it's an original and new level, none used from previous entries. There really isn't a goal in this level, it's just to collect a bunch of stars so you can buy hats to wear as Tori. That's optional though, and you can just mess around with friends instead if you really wanted to. Although this game doesn't offer much compared to the other Tori games, what it does offer is a glimpse of a possible future for Tori. It's fun to imagine a future game or mode that can utilize this idea of an online Tori game. Like imagine a game where you play through previous Tori levels, and depending on what time you finish with, you receive a certain amount of points. Then at the end of the game, whoever in the lobby has the most points wins. Also, there could be a way to sabotage and or help other players during this level. Or you know, they could make a Tori Battle Royale. Despite the fact that Torinette doesn't have much to give, it's still really fun to play with friends. And although I didn't experience this personally, it looks like it would be really fun to get a large group of people, maybe 10 or 15, together to play Torinette all together in one lobby. Finally, we have reached the latest release of Tori as of recording in this video. Tori Genesis is a small game made to celebrate the 31st anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. Thus, it uses numerous different things from Sonic like music, themes, characters, etc. The first level is a clear inspiration of Palm Tree Panic Zone from Sonic CD. The music even starts off in a similar manner. The next level is based off the stage Egg Fleet from Sonic Heroes, and generally speaking, this is a pretty short level, the shortest of the 3. Finally, for the last level, they based it off both Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2 and Stardust Speedway from Sonic CD. I love this level so much, and it's probably my most favorite level out of the entire Tori series. The reason for that being that you race against Tori's rival, Hockey. It's really fun to race against Hockey as it's super challenging and requires you to make perfect turns and to control Tori's momentum perfectly, because if you mess up once, Hockey will catch up and win. This aspect of the level obviously takes heavy inspiration from the race between Metal Sonic and Sonic. In every level, there are 3 shards to collect. During my first playthrough of Tori Genesis, I didn't collect all the shards. So when the credits were rolling and it said, try to collect every shard, I went back to every level to collect them all, assuming that something would happen if I did. However, once I collected all the shards and beat the game, nothing happened. I guess they're only there to give a sense of self-satisfaction and not much else. Also, I just had to mention the music once again. Siactro actually brought in a new musician instead of Red Panda to do the music for this game. That musician being R3/retro/retronaut. I really don't know which one of these 3 they go by, since their SoundCloud page has like 3 different titles which could be the name. R3 does such a great job with this soundtrack, making it really sound like music you'd hear from a Sega Genesis or Sega Saturn. Overall, this game is a great experience, although short. It being short is just due to the fact that it's filled with straight quality and nothing else. I really recommend this game if you're a big Sonic fan, since there are so many nods and references towards the series. After spending a week straight in Tori Purgatory, what do I have to say about the series? It's pretty good. Every single entry was quality and unique in its own way. Tori 3D was the start of the series and built a strong foundation for future games. Tori 2 has amazing music and gameplay, and the levels are finely crafted to perfection. Tori Jumble Jam has the most difficult levels out of all the Tori games. Torinette features online connectivity and gives us a peek towards possible future entries. Tori Genesis uses ideas and elements from the Sonic franchise and incorporates them to the Tori formula. If you haven't checked out any Tori games or games from Siactro in general, I strongly recommend that you do. I linked their itch.io page, Discord, Twitter, and Patreon in the description below if you're interested in supporting them. If you enjoyed this video, leave a big fat like, as it took a super long time to make this video. And also, if you're feeling extra generous, you could subscribe. As far as covering any future Tori entries, I will definitely do that, so stay tuned for whenever those come out. And with that, I conclude my experiences playing every single Tori game.